Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a new year, new feeling, and of course, new school year. There's always a feeling attached to starting something new. And in instances where we won't be there with our children, it's best to equip them with the skills and knowledge to take on their situations on their own, but with confidence. And joining us today to discuss preparing our kids for school is registered counsellor Sandra Adams, as well as Jonathan Hoffenberg, manager at the Parent Centre. Welcome. Hey,
Hi.
You look better than last year, both of you. Look at that. Hey? Especially you, Jonathan.
It was a hectic New Year's.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad both of you are here. We've got some very important things to discuss because we have to equip these kids for a brand new year, which is very important. But first principles, it's a new year. Some kids are going from a grade 7 to grade 8 scenario. Some of them are starting school for the first time, big school, you know. So there are a lot of permutations around here. But just as a quick anecdote, just to get them motivated for the year in preparation, because, of course, it's good to be preemptive. What types of things do you think parents should be looking at to get a kid ready for a brand new school year? Sandra, let's go
All
with
right.
you.
So routine is obviously the first thing we start with.
Yes?
And my suggestion would be to start, at least 2 weeks before school starts, get into some kind of routine, involve your children in the preparation, whether it's getting the stationery ready, just to get the excitement going. There's always this feeling of excitement when you have new stationery and you're ready to start the year. And so using those little things, affirmations as well. This is a great year, you're going to be great this year, and what do you want to do? And you start building up that excitement around starting school.
That's so great. Jonathan, from your side, I mean, as a, let's just say, mobilizing a parent, because, there's also some stresses there for parents too. What would you recommend to motivate parents to get the kids ready?
Well, I think that's an excellent point because parent burnout is probably the highest we've ever seen, So if you are feeling, like an existential guilt towards your kids, if your kids are no longer, you love them but you don't quite like them, if the actual job of parenting, and parenting is a job, it's a job that doesn't pay a lot and you don't get trained for it, but it's a very important job. But if it's a job that no longer gives you nachas, to use one of my cultural words, then you could be facing burnout. And if you are facing burnout, you first need to address that. And being burnt out is okay. The demands on parents these days is exponential compared to how it used to be. I mean, my parents' generation, there was one book on parenting, Dr. Spock. They're now so much, parents are so overwhelmed. So, parents, if you're not doing a great job, it's not too late.
Yes, be kind to yourself. That's so important.
It starts with kindness.
So let's look at being preemptive with regard to stresses this year for the child. So anything, could be bullying, could be something in class, could be a teacher, could be a subject that they're struggling with. So, Sandra, how do we mobilize our kids to get ready for potential stresses this year?
I think it's important that you have continuous conversations with your children, but also highlighting that they are not alone. So resourcing, whether it's your teacher, another classmate, your church, or, it's important to have that sense of community and feel that you are not alone. Normalizing stress, because you get healthy stress and you get unhealthy stress. And stress is there to motivate you and to keep you going. And knowing when it's a bit too much for me and when I should ask for help, that is important. Knowing your rights and your responsibilities, because with rights come responsibilities. And so if you are being bullied, it's important that you know your rights, but also know what your responsibilities are in that way.
So, Jonathan, just on a parental level as well, how can parents help their kids get ready for creating those communities that Sandra mentioned that are quite important? Making the new friends, connecting with classmates. Are there any things that parents can do to help their kids become a bit more open to new relationships?
Well, I love that she mentioned about that there are two different types of stresses, because I think there's a tendency in modern parenting to want to sugarcoat and wrap everything up with bubble wrap, you know? And children need adversity, children need stress, children need boredom, which is something that modern kids aren't used to, you know? So good parenting is about setting boundaries, which means taking away those, tablets and phones and that type of stuff. But I think parenting, same as, losing weight or any kind of major goal. It's about continuous work. So you need to be establishing communication with your kids and having those conversations. You need to be creating those experiences that at least once a week family meal where you're all sitting around a table without tablets and chatting. And there you can start to role play and discuss the scenarios, you know. Last year, Billy was a real, you know, monster, and you dealt with him really well when you slipped that scorpion down his skirt, you know. What are you going to do this year, you know? So getting your kids to maybe role play some scenarios and to think about their various options, and to also letting them know that there often isn't a perfect solution, you know, and that parenting and childhood and life is about struggle. So it's not necessarily about, you know, will you be bullied? Chances are good that you will be bullied. And it's not necessarily that how will you vanquish the bully? It's how will you roll with the punches, you know?
I see what you mean.
And learn the wisdom from the scars that life leaves.
I think what you're speaking of is emotional intelligence.
Completely,
that you're breeding in the household first. And then it goes and spills over to the playground, which is vitally important and something that I don't think we touch on too often in schools as well. So this is very, very valuable. And I like the idea of role-playing too and creating balance with regard to all of those items. This is wonderful. And we'll, of course, discuss this a bit later. But gear up for success with TWINSAVER by standing a chance to be one of 25 to win 20,000 Rand towards your child's school fees. Simply buy any 2 TWINSAVER facial tissue packs. Visit twinsaver.co.za for more info, and good luck.